Hi, I'm Gwen. I am the past president of Michigan Parents of Children with Visual Impairments, and I'm currently the executive director, the camp director, and the camp cook for Opportunities Unlimited for the Blind summer camps. We have a child who is now 26 who is blind, and so I have learned a few tricks in my lifetime of how to help our children learn some skills of blindness and skills that will help them become independent and strong adults. So I would like to share some of those with you right now. So this video is entitled Helping Your Child Who is Blind or Low Vision Learn Skills of Independence. The first thing that I think I've repeated the most often to the parents that I talk to is that our blind children have to repeat things sometimes even 100 times more than their sighted siblings or their peers. This is because vision is much more accurate at explaining to a child what they need to do than using their hands and using feeling and hearing, which are their primary other resources. So we have to give them chances to practice. And so every time you do something for your child, unfortunately, that means that's a time they don't have to learn it themselves. And I know it takes a ton of time to wait and wait and wait for your child to put their clothes on or to tie their shoes. But those are things that they need to learn, and they need to learn them slowly and methodically so that they can be successful at those skills. So you just need to have a lot of patience and be careful to pay attention to when your child is feeling frustrated. So you need to break down those skills into little tiny bits sometimes so that they aren't frustrated to the point where they don't want to learn it anymore. One of my favorite things to teach is how to tie shoes. And this is something that you can do easily. This is a piece of clothesline rope or macrame rope or something. It's a fairly flexible rope. It doesn't have any wire or any plastic on it. But half of it I've wrapped in masking tape. Now I discovered when wrapping this one today that this masking tape is a little stiff. So you might want to work it a little bit and not wrap it quite so tightly so that it's a little more flexible. But this way your child who's blind or low vision can easily tell the difference between this side, which is smooth and soft, and this side, which is taped. Otherwise, it just feels like a jumble of spaghetti in their hands. If it's just all this, they don't know which side is which, and they don't know what to do with it. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to practice on their leg. So you're going to take the rope and they're going to put it underneath their leg so that the place where the masking tape meets the soft rope is right under their thigh. Then you pull them straight up and have them meet those ends at the top. Okay? Then the next step is to cross them. And this might be a challenge. Some of the kids might not understand a cross. Okay? And this is a good time to talk about what a cross is or an X is. And that they can feel the X with their hands and check out that the cross part is where those two pieces meet in the middle. And then bring it down on their leg. And then if they're ready, have them move the taped part underneath the cross part. So they have to grab the cross part and move this underneath and then pull it until it crosses, and then it makes the half of that a half hitch or that half knot. Then you can just go right to another half hitch instead of trying to go bunny ears or anything like that. Have them cross those pieces again and then take the soft part of the rope and go underneath the other way to make a half hitch. You don't need to pull it tight so that it's stuck and can't get untied. Besides, with the masking tape, it's not going to be too tight. But this way, your child can keep learning the same tying thing by crossing and pulling and crossing and pulling. And then they can learn to untie those by letting the ropes separate themselves, and then they can pull them apart. And this is something most of our kids like to be able to do. They like to be able to use their hands to take things apart. We've discovered this. Some of our cup holders in our vans have been destroyed by children who like to take things apart. Okay, so that's the easiest part to do, is learning to do the half hitch. And then when you're ready to move on to another skill, which could take a long time, it could take 3 months, it could take 6 months, it could take a year before they're ready to do a loop. And this is a more challenging part of the skill. And then wrapping the masking tape part around the soft part, or whichever direction you're going, and then learning to push the masking tape part through the loop is another skill that's really challenging to do. But they can eventually learn to do this. And I think that's the most important thing for us to remember. Believe that your child can learn these skills, and make sure that they understand that you believe that they can learn these skills. This is the most important thing that we can teach our children. They may not learn it today. They're not going to learn it as fast as their sighted siblings or their peers, but they can learn it. They just have to take the time and have a little patience from their adult friends to make sure that they have the opportunities to learn these skills. Of course, you can always go with Velcro shoes and you can do all sorts of things, but there are many applications of learning to tie that are not related just to shoe tying either. And so it's really important, I think, that kids learn these skills so that they have them in their back pocket, tying a sleeping bag together, doing lots of things like that that are out of doors require tying. So if you start with this, then they can translate that skill. They can transfer that skill to shoes and shoelaces. You don't have to wrap the shoelaces in masking tape for that to work. Once they've learned the motions, they will be able to transfer that skill. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to contact me, I am at Gwen at oubmichigan.org.